My name is Russell. I'm the man whose adventures you will hear about in the Mystery Theater, which follows right away.
Hello, headquarters. This is Patrolman Witt reporting from police call box number 5 at Drake Avenue. Any orders? Nothing, eh? Okay. Here? No, this beat as quiet as a church tonight. Yep, goodbye. What the hell? Gunshots. Came from that direction, too. Here, what's going on?
Oh, the policeman. I'm glad you came along. Officer, my name's Murray.
What are you doing with that gun? Drop it.
Yes, sir, but I want to report a murder.
Wait a minute. This man here, he's dead. Who is he?
Huh? I don't know.
Oh, you don't, eh? Put your hands up. You're under arrest.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jeffrey Barnes welcoming you to the program that presents the best in mystery and detective fiction. You have just heard the opening scene of tonight's exciting story. It is entitled The 11th Juror, written by Vincent Starrett and presents one of the most unusual court trials in mystery fiction. You have just heard the committing of the murder and the arrest of the accused, James Murray. But on with the trial. We take you now to the jury room where you will meet the leading character of Vincent Starrett's dramatic story, The 11th Juror.
Yes, my name is Russell. Steve Russell. I'm the 11th juror of the jury assigned to the case of the people versus James Murray. We've been out for 2.5 days, and every ballot we've taken has had the same results. 11-1 for a guilty verdict. I'm the one. I'm the holdout. And by now, my fellow jurymen are crying to go home and beginning to hate me. Hate me because I won't go along with them and hang an innocent man.
Now, wait a minute, please. Now, wait a minute. Quiet down. Now, look here, Mr. Dean. Being foreman of this jury doesn't give you the privilege of riding roughshod. I demand that we take another ballot.
Riding roughshod, huh? Look who's talking. Mr. Russell. As you well know, we've had 27 ballots now. And unless you're ready to change your vote...
Hold on. How do you know some of the others won't change their vote?
Now, let him have his ballot, Dean. Maybe it'll make him see the light.
Okay. So we'll have another ballot. Get out the pencils, boys.
Well, I got writer's cramp. Can't we just have a voice vote?
Okay. Voice vote it is. And, Russell, if you lose this time, I hope you'll get over your pig-headedness and come along with us.
I'm not half as pig-headed as you are, Dean.
Oh, you're not, eh? Well, let me tell you...
Come on. Are we going to vote or aren't we?
All right. All who vote guilty, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Eh?
11-1. Same old song and dance.
Well, I'm sorry, boys, but like I've said before, unless one of you can prove to me that James Murray had some motive to kill Howard Blessing...
Motive be hanged. Murray was drunk. He shot Blessing in a drunken rage.
Oh, don't waste your breath arguing with him. In 2 hours, the judge will be calling this a mistrial. And then some other jury can put the noose around Murray's neck.
They all want to hang Murray so that they can go home. Well, who doesn't want to go home? I dare say my business suffers from my absence more than theirs does. You know, if it wasn't for Dean, I think my argument about James Murray having no motive for this killing would carry more weight. Because Murray didn't have any motive. He didn't have any at all. Let me tell you about the trial, and you'll see what I mean. Just the highlights. First, there was the testimony of Patrolman Witt. He was the policeman who made the arrest.
Continue, Officer Witt.
Well, I ran in the direction I heard the shots come from. Howard Blessing lay dead with 2 bullets in him. James Murray stood there just looking at the gun in his hand, sort of dazed like. I could tell he'd been doing a lot of drinking.
Now, how long between the time you heard the shots and the time you reached the scene, officer?
About half a minute.
Then isn't it possible that someone other than Murray could have fired the shots, dropped the gun, and run leaving Murray to pick the gun up before you reached the scene?
Well,
Never mind, that's all. State's witness.
Officer Witt, is it not so that the murder took place directly beneath a street light?
Yes, sir.
When you rounded the corner of Belvedere and Lambeth, a quarter block away, did you see anyone else in the street, anyone at all?
No, sir. Not a soul. Just the prisoner, James Murray, and the deceased, Howard Blessing.
There you are, gentlemen. Why, the defense is evidently trying to confuse you by implying that some unknown murderer exists. Had anyone else fired those shots and run, leaving poor Mr. Murray holding the gun, Officer Witt would have seen this unknown man in the streetlight.
Objection. Even the prosecutor could run out of the range of the streetlight inside of a few seconds.
We are wasting time, Your Honor. I am not concerned with a mythical murderer, a galloping ghost. We are concerned with James Murray, caught standing over a dead man and holding a smoking revolver in his hand.
Mrs. Pearson, you live on the ground floor apartment on Lambeth Avenue near Belvedere?
Yes, sir.
Tell the court what you heard about 2 o'clock on the night of the murder.
Well, I was sitting by the window when I heard 2 men pass by. They were arguing.
You heard the prisoner speak. Was either of the voices his?
I beg your pardon?
I said, was either of the voices you heard that of the prisoner?
Certainly not. One man had a kind of whiny voice. The other was deep and rumbly-like.
Gentlemen, Howard Blessing, the murdered man, had a whiny voice. We can prove that. James Murray is far from having a deep one. That's all, Mrs. Pearson. Thank you. Your witness, Mr. Prosecutor.
Mrs. Pearson, you didn't see these men, did you?
What was that?
I say you didn't see the men?
Oh, no, it was too dark.
Yes, but you heard them plainly.
How?
But you heard them.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Pearson, did you hear the shots fired a few minutes later?
Beg pardon?
I said, did you hear the revolver shots?
No, but
Gentlemen, Mrs. Pearson heard 2 men arguing through a closed window, yet she couldn't hear 3 pistol shots less than a block away. She can barely hear my questions in this room. That's all, Mrs. Pearson.
Mr. Trapp, you've known the deceased, Howard Blessing, for some time.
About 5 years. We were pretty good friends.
And you knew Blessing was a widower, Mr. Trapp, whose wife died some years back?
Yes.
Did Howard Blessing ever show you a small framed miniature of his wife?
Oh, yes. Many times. He always carried it with him.
Did he show it to you the night he was killed?
Yes.
Did you see him put it back on his person?
Yes.
What is the point of this line of questioning?
I'm trying to establish, Your Honor, that this miniature disappeared. That it was taken from the murdered man by some unknown person. That's all, Mr. Trapp. Prosecution's witness.
No questions.
Mr. Murray, how did you happen to be at Belvedere and Lambeth at the time of the murder?
Well, I was on my way home. I had had several drinks. I don't know, frankly, how I got where I was. I was just there.
Did you have a gun on your person when you left the Black Owl Tavern to go home?
Oh, certainly not.
Mr. Murray, did you ever know or hear of the deceased Howard Blessing until the morning of your arrest?
Oh, never. So help me God, I never knew him, never heard of him.
He was a total stranger?
Yes, a total stranger.
That's all. Prosecution's witness.
Mr. Murray. Mr. Murray, where do you live?
102 Bedford Road.
And you were drinking at the Black Owl Tavern on Oak Street?
Yes, sir.
Then how could you have been on your way home at Belvedere and Lambeth?
Well, I don't know. I just wandered that way.
I see, and in your wandering, Mr. Murray, you plucked a gun out of thin air, huh?
No, that is, I don't know how I got it.
Gentlemen, why go on? In summing up Mr. Murray's testimony, we find that he says he was innocent, but admits he was too drunk to know. We find that he was on his way home, but going in the opposite direction. We learn that Mr. Murray didn't have a gun with him. But, gentlemen, the gun found in his hand and marked Exhibit A on that table, that is no mirage. Nor was the dead Howard Blessing a mirage. Nor the bullets that killed him. That is stark truth. That is murder. Now, what has the defense offered as proof of Murray's innocence? A witness so hard of hearing that she couldn't hear revolver shots, yet who claims she heard two men argue as they passed her window. A vague story about a miniature which the dead man didn't have on his person. And then the fact that Murray didn't know Blessing. Oh, that is a honey. Is Blessing any less dead because he was a stranger to this gun-toting drunkard? No, gentlemen. Murray killed Blessing. Stranger or not, he's guilty. Murray must hang.
Well, those were the highlights of the trial. Oh, I admit the circumstantial evidence against James Murray is pretty strong. But the judge said if there was any reasonable doubt in our minds as to whether Murray killed Howard Blesson, we should find Murray innocent. Well, there's plenty of reasonable doubt in my mind. Oh, that must be the bailiff coming in to ask if we reached a decision. Yeah, the 2 hours have passed. Oh, now it looks like we'll have to admit a mistrial.
Well, boys, this is it. I'll let him in.
Oh, just a minute, Dean. You dropped something.
Huh? What? What did I drop?
Oh, on the floor here. Looks like... Holy mackerel.
What's the matter, Russell? What is it?
This changes everything. Just a minute, boys. Bailiff, come back in 30 minutes.
What does he mean? Hey, what goes?
Yeah, what's the idea, Russell? What was that you picked up off the floor?
Look here, Russell. What do you think you are telling the bailiff to come back in 30 minutes?
You'll find out all too soon, Mr. Dean. Fellow jurors, now you'll have to listen to me. Fellow jurors, listen to me. You all remember during the testimony that the defense made a point out of the fact that a certain miniature bearing the picture of Howard Blessing's wife disappeared from Blessing's pocket just before he was murdered.
Yeah, what's that got to do with it?
Well, boys, before we decide to hang Murray, perhaps Mr. Dean would like to explain what this miniature happened to be doing in his pocket.
And now back to Jeffrey Barnes and Act 2 of The 11th Juror.
James Murray, a smoking gun in his hand, has been found standing drunkenly over the body of one Howard Blessing. All the jurymen, with the exception of Steve Russell, believe Murray is guilty of murder. Russell has held out for nearly 3 days. Just as the foreman of the jury, a Mr. Dean, is about to report a mistrial to the court, Russell electrifies the jury room by demanding to know how a mysterious miniature, supposedly belonging to the murdered man, has found its way into Dean's pocket.
For the 10th time, fellow jurymen, I tell you, I never saw that miniature before in my life. And I don't know how it could have gotten into my pocket.
And Dean's the man, my friends, who wouldn't believe James Murray when he said he didn't know how that gun got in his hand.
How about that, Dean?
Your story doesn't hold water, Dean.
Now, take it easy, will you, fellas?
All right, boys, just a minute, please. Just a minute. I think this thing has gone far enough now. I've made my point.
Huh? What point, Russell?
Here's what Dean dropped out of his pocket.
Well, I'll be... That's my watch fob.
What?
Your watch fob. Hey, what goes here?
Yeah, what is this, Russell?
Well, boys, when Dean accidentally dropped that watch fob on the floor, I saw my chance to teach all of you a lesson.
A lesson?
I picked it up, said it was the miniature. Then slipped it in my pocket and watched you fellas swarming all over Dean, ready to hang him at the drop of the hat. On circumstantial evidence, mind you. Now, don't you see that you're doing the exact same thing to James Murray? No one actually saw him shoot Howard Blessing, and Murray was too drunk to know what happened. I claim somebody else could have shot Blessing, shoved the gun into Murray's hand, and beat it.
Now, wait a minute, Russell. I admit you've made us all look like fools over this watch fob, but that doesn't prove your story about an unknown killer. Not for my money, it doesn't.
Oh, why not? Perhaps a hold-up man, a thug killed Blessing.
Why wasn't his money taken?
Okay, so it wasn't a hold-up man. Perhaps it was some enemy of his. Why, there could have been 100 different reasons why somebody might have wanted to kill Blessing.
Oh, yeah? Name one.
Name one? I could give you a dozen right here and now.
I said give just one.
What's the matter, Russell? Did he call you a bluff?
Yeah, you can't even name one.
No, wait a minute. Do I understand you fellows to mean that if I can make up a story showing how Blessing was killed, you'll admit there's a reasonable doubt of Murray's guilt?
Huh? Why not?
Well, I for one would, anyhow. How about the rest of you?
Okay, sit tight and hold your hats. As I said, I can make up a dozen different stories. So this is just one way the murder might have happened. Now, let's say about 10 years ago in a small Ohio town, there's a guy named Smith. Let's call him George Smith.
10 years ago. Some start.
Quiet, Dean. I'll give him a chance.
Smith's standing on the station platform with a girl, and we'll call her Elsie. She's crying a little, and he's talking to her. He says,
I don't want to go, sweetheart, but I can't make a set in this burg. You want to marry me, don't you, dear?
and she says,
Yes, darling, yes. And I know you're right. I know Father won't let us marry till you've got money and a good job. But it might take so long, and I love you so much.
there, you get the picture? Smith is leaving for the big city to make lots of money so the old man will okay his marrying Elsie. Well, the train's about to go, and they kiss. And Smith hops aboard, shouting,
Wait for me, darling. Wait.
and she says,
Forever, George, forever.
well, get this. She doesn't wait. No, it's not her fault. Another guy comes on the scene. He's a rat of a guy with flashy clothes and a fast line of patter. And he works on Elsie, real slow and smooth. And the rat says,
Hi, Elsie. Was talking to Tommy in the barber shop today. Says he heard George was doing well in Chicago. He says his father saw George at one of the hot spots there when he was in Chicago last month.
you see? This home base robber starts slow, but let's say in about a year he's got Elsie so she believes most anything. Now,
Look, Russell, I don't see what this corny story of yours has to do with the case.
Dean, let me finish.
Okay, shoot.
By the way, Russell, who is this rat?
Suppose we say his name's Howard Blessing.
Blessing? The murdered man? Hey, what are you getting at?
Shut up and let him talk. Now, what happens next, Russell?
Well, Smith had no way of figuring out why when his letters weren't answered. He stays on in the city, and finally a wedding announcement reached him. Just a wedding announcement.
So, Blessing has ruined the boy meets girl routine, eh?
Right. Now, let's say Smith knows Blessing from way back. Well, it burns him up, see? Mr. and Mrs. Blessing instead of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, get it? But he's a right sort, so he swallows it. Only it hurts going down.
Brother, have you got an imagination? You ought to write for the movies.
He sure should. But what's all this got to do with Murray?
Why do you interrupt so much, Dean? Well, don't you want me to finish the story?
Well, I have no objection.
All right, then, shut up. Go ahead, Russell.
Right. Now, let's say a few years pass, and one day Smith gets a letter. And it's a letter from the girl's mother. It's a sad letter saying,
Dear George, my baby married a fiend whose brutality and unfaithfulness finally became more than she could bear. We found my poor little girl hanging in her cellar last Monday as suicide. Howard Blessing is as much a murderer as though he had done it.
So let's say the letter went something like that, huh? Now, if you fellows sat in judgment on Blessing, what would you do?
Wait a minute. Are you guys going to let him go on with his third-rate version of East Lynn?
No skin off your nose, Dean.
Now, look, Dean, this is the third time you've interrupted. You sure you haven't some reason why Russell shouldn't finish the story?
Why, no.
Okay. Go ahead, Russell.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, let's imagine Blessing caught sight of Smith in town one day. Might make a guy like Blessing carry a gun from then on, mightn't it?
Might. Well, we'll suppose so, anyhow.
Fine. Now comes the night of the murder. Smith runs into Blessing on Lambeth Avenue. Smith says he's going to beat Blessing's head off. They go up the street arguing. And that's what the Pearson woman heard through her window. Yeah. They get to the corner, and Blessing begins to whine. He takes out the miniature of his dead wife, Elsie, and he shows it to Smith. And Blessing says,
Smith, look, I want to show you something. Look, I loved Elsie. Here, I've got her picture. Would I carry it with me if I hadn't loved her?
Well, that's all Smith needs, the sight of that picture. He slaps it out of Blessing's hand and grabs him by the collar. Blessing pulls a gun out of his pocket. Smith grabs his hand and says,
Give me that gun, you idiot.
Blessing pulls the trigger. Once. And Smith grabs Blessing's wrist. Smith wants to protect himself, you see. All right. The men struggle. And suddenly the gun goes off. Twice. Blessing is hit. He goes down. Right there is where Murray comes up. He staggers up, drunk as a hoot owl. And then Smith scoops up the miniature and beats it, leaving Murray standing over the dead man.
Then the cop rushes up, sees Murray, and Murray's on the way to the gallows.
Exactly. Absolutely right. And that, boys, is one story of how it might have happened.
Yes.
You know very well it could. Then they think he's the guy that...
Now, you want to hear a few more possibilities?
Not me. I'm convinced there's plenty of reasonable doubt about Murray's guilt. I vote for acquittal.
I do, too.
All right, let's make that official. Let's make it official. All in favor of acquittal signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Well, that does it. I think we're now ready to inform the court that we've reached a verdict.
Not so fast.
What?
I haven't voted yet. A few questions.
Yes, Dean?
You say you made this story up?
That's right.
Then it proves nothing, right?
Sure it does, Dean. It proves somebody besides Murray might have killed Blessing. It proves reasonable doubt.
Not in my book, it doesn't. I still think Murray is guilty. So this is still a mistrial.
What? Oh, right back where we start.
This is the last straw.
So let's call the bailiff and get it over with. Bailiff! Bailiff! He'll be here in a minute, and what do you think of that, Russell?
Well, I think I'm licked.
Huh?
I think I can't stall any longer.
What?
Dean, I've convinced everyone but you. Now I'm going to convince you. Take a look at this.
What is it?
Now, let me see. What's it? This is a miniature.
A miniature?
That's right.
And this means that you're...
Right again. Take a good look, boys. The George Smith in my story is me. Steve Russell.
Holy mackerel.
Gee, Hossafat. By coincidence, luck, chance, I was called on this jury. And then I couldn't stand to see Murray die.
Well, where do we go from here?
You called me, Foreman?
Huh? Oh, yes, bailiff. You can tell the judge we've arrived at a verdict.
Yes, sir.
And bailiff.
Yes? Yes, Mr. Dean?
Bailiff, step outside a moment.
Yes, sir.
Boys, we all know Murray is innocent. But what are we going to do about Russell? As you know, the proceedings in this jury room are confidential. Any recommendation we make must be made officially to the court. Now, do we turn Russell over for trial or not? Well?
Mr. Foreman,
Yes?
Well, I say we forget Russell's story.
What about the rest of you?
Dean, in my opinion...
Yes?
In my opinion, Russell killed Blessing in self-defense. I say we forget about it.
That's a good idea. Forget about it.
Okay, then. It's agreed. We find Murray not guilty and let it go at that. The case is closed.
There is an epilogue to tonight's story. Steve Russell eventually, of his own volition, stood trial and was acquitted. Yes, mystery fans, I think we can call the 11th Juror's attempt to save an innocent man a complete success. This is Jeffrey Barnes again, ladies and gentlemen, inviting you to be with us next week when we will present Eric Ambler's suspenseful study of mortal terror, his popular adventure and mystery entitled Journey into Fear. It was especially adapted for radio by the very popular Milton Geiger. So, mystery fans, be sure to listen next week to Eric Ambler's Journey into Fear.
The original music is composed and conducted by Jack Miller. The 11th Juror was written by Vincent Starrett and adapted for radio by Christopher Mayo.
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
This is Peter Lorre, here again to welcome you to the Mystery Playhouse. Tonight we bring you a story by Jonathan Latimer called Lady in the Morgue. It offers Detectives Crane and O'Malley the delightful problem of solving 3 murders and interviewing a lovely brunette, a lady who is mysteriously related to the unsolved crimes. Come with me to the morgue for the beginning of our little story, huh? Oh, don't let these stiffs bother you. Their troubles are over. But for those two detectives over there, the murders are just beginning. Come down these steps. Right this way. Come. Come.
I'm going nuts hanging around here.
Oh, stop squawking, O'Malley.
3 days just sitting in the morgue. I'm beginning to feel like a stiff myself.
Look, I don't like it any better than you do, O'Malley, but we're hired as private detectives to sit here. And we're going to sit here until somebody identifies the dame's body.
Okay. How do you know Alice Ross isn't Alice Ross?
Why don't you stop being a jerk? That name's a phony.
You know, Crane, the whole thing seems phony to me.
What?
Who is this rich New York guy, Cortland? He hires us by a telegram. We've never seen him. And why is he so interested in this little blonde who commits suicide?
Look, I don't think it's going to do any good, but I'm going to tell you for the last time. He thinks it's his sister, Catherine Cortland. She ran away from home a couple of years ago, chasing after some musician.
Yeah, gee.
Hey, that's the desk bell. Looks like the morgue's got a customer. Lieberman, the attendant, ought to answer it. Where is he? Where is he anyhow?
Down in the vaults with the stiffs.
Well, then maybe we better answer it, O'Malley. Might be somebody to claim the body. Looking for someone, mister?
For a couple of private detectives, Crane and O'Malley.
Oh, I'm Crane. And that character over there is O'Malley.
Well, my name's Cortland. I sent you that wire.
Oh, come right in. Glad to meet you.
Me too.
Delayed in New York. Expected to be here yesterday. What about the girl?
No information yet, Mr. Cortland. And if you think she might be your sister, Catherine, why, you can identify yourself.
Why, yes. Where?
This way, Mr. Cortland.
Thanks.
The body's down in the vaults. Lieberman, the morgue attendant, you see, he's down there.
I'll wait here for you, Crane. I can't stand looking at that girl again.
Come on. Stick with the client.
Oh, okay. Watch your foot, and the stairs are slippery.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
Now, what makes you think this Alice Ross girl might be your sister, Mr. Cortland?
Well, just what I read in the New York papers, that's all. Blonde girl, blue eyes, suicide. Also, my sister Catherine wrote us about 2 months ago that she was finished with her old life. She ran away from home with the musician 2 years ago. And...
the body's in here.
Oh.
Lieberman. Hey, Lieberman, where are you? I thought you said Lieberman was down here, O'Malley.
Yeah, I saw him go down about 20 minutes ago.
Come on, Mr. Cortland. The body's on tray number 27.
Oh, yes. It's 4, 10, 14...
17, 25, 27.
You pull out the tray. I don't like things like this.
Oh, there's nothing to be afraid of. She's dead. All you got to do is grab the handle and... Go ahead, O'Malley. You pull it out.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a man's body. A man, not a woman.
Yeah, she's certain.
What? Hey, it's Lieberman, the morgue attendant. Murdered.
Murder in the morgue?
It's murder, all right. It's head smashed.
But where's the girl's body?
Yeah. Mr. Cortland, this is a job for the police.
I don't give 2 hoots about your private detective credentials, Crane.
But, Lieutenant...
Nor yours either, O'Malley. Now, look, a man was murdered in the morgue today and a woman's body was stolen. And you and O'Malley and this fellow Cortland were the only ones who could have done it.
Why don't you stop acting like a movie cap, Lieutenant Grady?
What?
Think it through. Cortland is my client. He hired O'Malley and me to learn if the girl is his sister.
Right, I sent Crane a wire from New York.
All right, skip the details.
Ah, use your head, Lieutenant Grady. You're forgetting a couple of things.
Huh?
You remember that Lieberman, the morgue attendant, had a handful of red hair in his hand. Have O'Malley and Cortland got red hair? Have I?
Huh? You know darn well you have.
And we also know that somebody held Lieberman from in front while someone else slugged him from behind. Otherwise, why would Lieberman's wrists be torn and bloody?
Okay.
Lieberman had the hair in his left hand. Now, if I were holding your wrists, I'd be holding your left wrist with my right hand. Wouldn't I?
Oh,
I'd be holding your weaker hand with my strongest.
All right. Now, what are you trying to prove?
We're trying to prove...
One at a time, O'Malley.
Okay, go ahead, Crane.
Thank you, Professor. We're trying to prove that whoever held Lieberman's hands was red-headed and left-handed.
And none of us are left-handed or red-headed.
All right, Mr. Cortland, pipe down. Crane, go on from there.
Lieutenant, we're going to find that missing body for you.
All right. All right, Crane. But if you're getting away with something new and something right now, it's only temporary.
All right. Come on, O'Malley.
And look, don't forget, Crane, one false step and I'll pin the whole thing on you. But permanently.
You shouldn't have slammed the door, Crane. You'll make him mad.
Well, what happens now?
You're going back to your hotel, Mr. Cortland, and wait there till you hear from me. O'Malley and I got to pay a visit to the apartment where the missing body hanged herself. Now look, O'Malley, I thought I told you to stick out in the hall and keep your eyes peeled.
Sure, Crane, but I'm getting nervous. Found anything yet?
Nope. One funny thing, though. Alice Ross left a lot of brand new dresses here, in this closet. Look, never been worn. But not a pair of shoes in the place.
That don't make sense, Crane.
You're telling me. O'Malley, take a look at this bathroom door. According to the papers, this is where Alice Ross hanged herself. Draped the cord over it.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, let's see now. According to the papers, she came out of the bathtub and hanged herself while she was still wet. The police found a puddle of water on the floor.
That's nuts, Crane. Why would anybody take a bath if they were going to commit suicide? Unless they wanted to hang themselves up to dry.
Would anyone hang herself while she was still wet?
Oh, I think she'd dry herself first. Don't make sense.
It'd make good sense, O'Malley, if she didn't commit suicide. Yeah. It'd make better sense if she was murdered.
Yeah. Murdered?
She was murdered first. Then the murderer hung her body up with a cord. O'Malley, get back in the hall and keep a lookout.
Sometimes I wonder what you'd do without me, Crane. Sometimes I...
Now, what's the matter?
It's Grady and a bunch of cops. Let's get out of here quick.
Yeah, but where? It's 3 floors to the ground.
How about this window?
Great. Hey, there's a ledge.
What?
You go one way, I'll go the other.
Come on, open up. We know you're in there. Open up.
Now, if I can hide in this room until... My toe.
Get out of here, girl!
Shut up. You hear me? Shut up. Shut up. Now, listen. Listen, I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to rob you. And I'll turn you loose if you promise not to make a sound. Now, remember, if you make a sound, you're going to get hurt. Is that clear? Okay.
You already hurt me. You hurt my mouth. What are you doing in my bathroom? What do you want anyway?
Now, listen, honey, I didn't want to duck through your bathroom window. It was just convenient, that's all.
Well, get out.
When I'm ready. Hey, nice apartment you got here. Mind if I look around a bit?
If you don't get out of here, I'll phone the police.
You don't have to phone, sister. They're right next door.
What?
Yeah. Did you know the girl next door, the one who hanged herself? Alice Ross?
What's that to you? And keep out of my clothes closet.
Now, listen, baby. You're a beautiful hunk of flesh, and I'd hate to get rough with you. But I like answers to questions when I ask them. Now, let's begin again. What's your name?
Udoni. That's my name. Mrs. Sam Udoni.
Ah, that's better. Now, about the girl next door.
I don't know anything about her.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying.
Maybe so, but this clothes closet is very interesting. Very.
Why, you know...
Watch it, baby. Now, tell me this. Why have you got 2 different sizes of shoes there in the shoe closet? Oh, and dresses. In 2 different sizes. 2 complete wardrobes.
It's very simple. Some of them belong to my roommate. She's a blonde. She dresses different from me.
Thought you just said your name was Mrs. Udoni. Mrs. Sam Udoni.
My husband's a musician. He travels with bands. He's away all the time.
Yeah?
What are you asking me all these questions?
Your husband forgot to take his trumpet.
Why you...
Now, don't get sore. I'm getting out. I just heard the cops next door go down the hall. I'm, kind of sorry we met this way. You are a beautiful doll.
Don't be insulting.
I always like long black hair, the kind that comes out of a bottle.
Oh.
And don't be surprised if Papa comes back sometime.
Get out. Get out, do you hear? Get out before I kill you!
that's what it all adds up to, Mr. Cortland. Alice Ross was murdered. And her body, obviously, was stolen from the morgue to cover up that murder. And if this girl was murdered, and she turns out to be your sister...
My sister is alive, Crane. I've just found out.
What? Mr. Cortland?
Oh, you heard from your sister?
Yes, she's alive. So, as she's obviously not the dead Alice Ross, I'd like you both to drop the case.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd like to do that, Mr. Cortland. I'd like to very much, but one small difficulty. You see, Lieberman, the morgue attendant, was murdered. And I'm still kind of a suspect, and so is O'Malley. And so are you.
What? Right.
Right. And the only way we can clear ourselves is to break the case ourselves.
Right.
Right. Besides, I think I know who helped to kill Lieberman and snatch the girl's body.
You do? Who?
An undertaker. A left-handed, red-headed undertaker.
That's ridiculous.
No, now, wait a minute, Mr. Cortland. Sometimes Crane gets brainstorms.
Figure it out, Mr. Cortland. The only way anyone could get into the morgue and carry the body away is through the delivery entrance. That means only an undertaker could get in there, without a lot of questions.
What'd I tell you, Mr. Cortland? A brainstorm.
Right.
Right.
Oh, this is all nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense.
Maybe so, but just to prove that it isn't, O'Malley's going out right now and find that undertaker.
Right. Me? Where am I going to find him?
You'll find him easy, O'Malley.
Sure. I'll find him easy?
Well, if this is the only way we can clear ourselves, as you say, why, I ought to help find this undertaker.
Fine, Mr. Cortland. Now, let O'Malley cover one side of town and you cover the other. We'll meet here in 4 hours.
And what about you, Crane? What are you going to be doing?
Me? Didn't I tell you? I got a date with a gorgeous brunette. Oh, hello, Mrs. Udoni. I told you I'd be back.
You? What are you doing here?
Oh, I came to hear the hot music and, be near you.
You've got a nerve after what happened today.
Hey, that's a solid horn your husband blows in that next room there.
Yeah, what makes you think he's my husband?
You said your husband was a musician, and I saw a trumpet here this morning.
Well, you see too much. What do you want anyway?
How does a wife of a musician feel when another woman starts following him around the country?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Never heard of Catherine Cortland, huh?
She never meant anything to Sam.
She's been following him around for several years. Must have got someplace with him in that time.
Look, you better get out of here. My husband's coming in here.
Good. I want to see him.
I told him about you butting in here. I'll kill you.
Who is this guy, baby?
This is him, Sam.
You're looking for trouble, mister.
I like trouble.
What do you want with us?
I want Catherine Cortland, or I want a body.
What are you talking about?
Oh, don't be coy, you Donny. I know Catherine Cortland left New York several years ago to follow you here.
What about it? Sure, she followed me here. Does that make me responsible for her? I haven't seen her for months.
And who was that living in the apartment next door to you?
How should I know? A girl commits suicide in the apartment next door, and right away I'm a suspect. Get out of here.
Okay, you Donny. Just one thing. You see this nice shiny badge? The body of the blonde who was murdered in the apartment next to yours.
Apartment? Murdered? What do you... The papers said that...
Sure, the paper said suicide, but she was murdered, you Donny. Murdered. And her body will be in a city morgue in 4 hours, and I want you to come and take a look at it.
It's just like you said, Crane. There was a left-handed, red-headed undertaker. Only there isn't any more.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I went to his place, rang the bell. No answer. I went in, and there he was murdered.
What? Murdered?
Yep. Stuffed in one of his own coffins. A knife right through his heart. Police hadn't even been there yet.
Well, this is incredible.
Well, didn't you look around, O'Malley?
I'm no dope.
No?
I looked at his books, and I found out that a girl named Alice Hughes was buried today, Forest Tree Cemetery.
That's our blonde. You're wonderful, O'Malley. I love you.
Ah, it was simple.
Now, we gotta move fast. Get out to the Forest Tree Cemetery, get that body, and return it to the morgue.
How about me?
You? You come along too, Cortland. Let's go. All right, O'Malley. Lift her up. Put her on the table. Easy now.
There. Now can I go?
Stick around. I got a job for you.
You certainly have a genius for the fantastic, Crane. Digging this body out of its grave, sneaking it in here in the morgue.
I only do what's necessary, Cortland. Now, look. Are you sure this girl isn't your sister?
Absolutely.
Well, it's the same body that was swiped from the morgue, and she was murdered.
Murdered?
Furthermore, whoever killed this girl knows I've located the body and returned it here to the morgue.
So what, Crane?
The killer's going to try to steal the body again. And you, Mr. Cortland, and O'Malley are going to catch him. Red-handed.
Me?
You.
But, Crane, how can you be sure?
I made sure. Now, listen. Here's what we're going to do. We leave the body here, on this table, with a sheet over it. Then you two get under the sheets on these other tables.
But those are tables they perform autopsies on.
Right. And the murderer, when he comes in, will never suspect that you're under those sheets.
All right, Crane. I'm game.
I'm leaving you two here alone. I'll beat it out and get Lieutenant Grady. Oh, I ought to warn you. No one knows you're down here in the vaults. Just you two. But don't worry. The killer will be here. Oh, good luck, boys.
Just us two and the killer, Mr. Cortland.
I'm not afraid.
Let's get under the sheets now. Turn out the light. Mr. Cortland, will you do me a small favor?
Why, certainly, O'Malley. What is it?
Every now and then, reach over and pinch me.
That will be a pleasure. Why?
Every time I get under a sheet, I go to sleep.
You don't mean to say you could go to sleep in a morgue, waiting for a murderer? Why, that's ridiculous.
My mind agrees with you, but when my body feels a sheet, it goes to sleep. In fact, it's going now.
O'Malley. Did you hear that?
What?
I swear the door opened and closed.
Shh. Listen. Footsteps.
Oh, yeah. Keep the sheet over your face.
Hey! Let go of me! Let go!
Hey,
Crane! I've got him! I've got him! Crane! I've got him! Turn on the lights!
All right, you. Come on. I got you covered. Now, come on, get up off the floor. Well, thanks, O'Malley. I knew I could depend on you.
Right. Hey, this guy is Cortland.
Now, you tricked me, Crane. You were waiting at the end of the hall all the time.
And I suppose you didn't try to trick O'Malley and murder him in a bargain.
Yeah, but I don't get it. Did Cortland kill Lieberman? Did he steal the body?
Not so fast, O'Malley. Go ahead, go to the telephone and tell Lieutenant Grady to hurry over here to the city morgue if he wants Lieberman's killer. I'll wait here. I'm still expecting Sam Udoni to show up and identify the girl's body. Oh, O'Malley.
Huh?
Another thing. Get me a bucket full of peroxide.
A bucket full... Peroxide?
Peroxide, I'll need it.
What's this all about, Crane? And say, who are all these people?
Well, O'Malley, you know, and this is Sam Udoni and Mrs. Udoni, and this is my client, Mr. Cortland.
Your client? Then why you got him handcuffed?
Well, it ain't merely because he didn't pay his bill.
Now, no cracks! Crane, O'Malley told me on the phone that this blonde dame, Alice Ross, didn't commit suicide but was murdered. What about that?
Well, that's right. Murdered. By this man right here.
But look, Crane, Cortland couldn't
Who
have...
said anything about Cortland? I said this man right here, meaning Sam Udoni.
That's a lie. You can't prove that.
Shut up!
Shut up!
Shut up!
Now, Crane, you mean that Udoni committed all those murders?
No, my husband was with me when they were committed. And what reason would he have to kill this Alice Ross? Why, he didn't even know her.
How about that, Crane?
Well, Udoni ought to have known Alice Ross. He killed her because she wouldn't give him a divorce. Alice Ross was actually Mrs. Udoni.
How could she be? I am Mrs. Udoni.
Let me out of here.
Grab him, O'Malley.
Let me go. Let me go. Cut it out, Udoni. It won't do you any good.
It's better.
Don't talk, Sam. They can't prove anything.
Be quiet, you.
Be quiet, you.
Be quiet, you.
By heavens, this is all beginning to make sense. That's why Udoni stole the body of his wife, so that he could pass off this woman here as Mrs. Udoni.
Right, Lieutenant.
Sure, I get it.
And now for the proof, O'Malley. O'Malley, hand me that bucket full of peroxide.
Here you are, Crane.
Hey, now, wait a minute, Crane. Wait a minute before you start his shenanigan. If Alice Ross was actually Mrs. Udoni, who's this dame here?
Well, that's simple. She's Catherine Cortland.
What?
You're crazy. Catherine Cortland was a blonde.
Wait a minute. She's no blonde, Crane.
Oh, no? Just watch. There. Watch her hair, Lieutenant. Just watch her hair.
Yeah. Say, the black is running out.
The dye, you mean. You better take her someplace where she can clean up, O'Malley.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Where does this guy Cortland fit in?
I'm afraid he was merely an unhappy accomplice, but go easy on him. He's a good guy.
Good guy. Good guy. Good guy. He tried to stab me.
Yeah, but he was dragged into this whole thing to protect his sister, and she was dragged in by Sam Udoni. He's the real louse.
Look, Crane, I'm not making any alibis, but I wish you'd answer me just one question.
Go ahead, shoot, Cortland.
How did you know my sister had dyed her hair?
Well, in your sister's apartment, I found a bottle of black hair dye and a bottle of peroxide in the bathroom. But what finally convinced me was the real Mrs. Udoni.
What do you mean?
You see, hair grows after death. And if you'll take a look at the dead girl's body, you'll see the roots of her blonde hair are all black.
Crane, all I can say, you make my hair stand on end.
And that was Lady in a Morgue by Jonathan Latimer. Oh, yes, we were going to have a guest ghost on tonight's broadcast. Oh, but poor fellow, he was taken gravely ill. The doctors have given up all hope. He's going to live. By the way, if you have any pet vampires you'd like to hear about on these programs, just drop me a line. Just give the letter to your favorite witch with instructions to take her broomstick and knock on the door of the Mystery Playhouse. Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA. Now it's time to close the doors before all these bats fly away. This is Peter Lorre saying good night. Sleep tight. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.